Hello everybody, welcome to Chair League. I am your host for this match, Jason Pro Division match here. We got Sky5 versus Gamma Squad. Should be a really fun one tonight. And already in the draft, we're going to Infernal Shrines here for game number 1. So Kerrigan instantly the hover for Sky5. Not surprising, Kerrigan very, very strong in this map. He has solid clear on the shrines themselves, not to mention that it is a typically snowball-oriented map. Infernal Shrines can be one of the longest of those maps for sure, but they do tend to snowball pretty hard. And Unileska, thank you very, very much for that host. Really big deal there, I appreciate it. Yeah, Kerrigan, her ability to jump all around these shrines, get a lot of solid shields to come off of those, along with being able to clear it solo about as fast as most teams clear it as a 5-man. Just too strong for this map, so if you're not planning on picking it up early in the draft, best to just ban it out. So, opportunity for Gamma Squad to go ahead and counter-ban the Murky. The cheese is real in this Murky-driven meta. And on a big map like Infernal Shrines, where there's a lot of split pushing, this is not really where you want to go. I had actually completely glazed over the fact that I was casting for the Unileska with Gamma Squad tonight. So that was a nice surprise. And I thought, oh right, this is her team. But thanks for coming, everybody. It's a pleasure to have you all. Also, always nice to see Hero Physio hanging out with us in the chat. Another awesome up-and-coming Chair League streamer. But we do see the Ragnaros band, so no fear from Gamma Squad for that Murky. And Sky5's, again, having that open. Nobody going for the cheese yet. Just going to be all business so far with the Zarya pickup. Very strong in this map. Solid clear and solid steal potential on these shrines. One of the things on Infernal Shrines that is just not prioritized that much or talked about that much is the ability to steal those skeletal minions. That could be a really, really big deal. And with that particle grenade, she does have the ability to lob those on in there and get those steals. Same reason we see a higher than average Asmodan on this map. His ability to throw those globes in there and just steal is a little bit mean, I'm not gonna lie. But it's gonna be ETC and Malfurion coming out from Gamma Squad. So early they are looking to set up the gank potential, the CC chains, everything you love about this map, the ability to get in there, get some good shrine clear. Might see Malfurion going with a little bit more of those PvE friendly talents that are going to get him a little bit of extra damage on those shrines and get a little extra clear. 2 picks coming here for Sky5. Have the opportunity to try and get a little bit of their damage out here with Zarya. You start to think they might be going for some kind of hyper carry Vala, hyper carry something that requires a little extra shielding. Tassadar still on the table if they wanted to really go hard down that route. But they do have a lot of options. The healer chokehold is one that Gamma Squad could actually apply here if Sky5 doesn't want to pick up their healer here, so they got to be careful of that. ETC taken out here, or picked up, and so they are going to go. Okay, so Rhaegar Vala, the Rhaegar, another healer that's pretty decent at being able to help a carry, particularly after level 10. With that Ancestral, if they get focused, he can bring them back up. Don't typically see it with a Vala as much, but at this point, could be anything with those last 2 picks available. Could even be a Bloodlust comp shaping here, but we'll have to see what direction Sky5 wants to go with that. Huh. So somebody's thinking Nazebo for Unileska. That I did see that match. I did review it today for the highlight reel. Almost done, by the way. Should be up tonight for anybody that's looking forward to checking out that Chair League highlight reel. A little later than normal this week, but the band phase coming up here. second ban phase. Gamma Squad thinking long and hard about this one. Varian would probably be my ban out, but I think we're just gonna go with the Dahaka. The last second pickup. A solid ban as well. Big map like this, it's always nice to have the split push pressure from those globals. They're gonna go ahead and take Dahaka out of the picture. And it looks like the Tassadar gonna be hovered here for Sky5. I do like the Tassadar ban. He is pretty strong on this map. Archon has been making its presence felt in our current metagame. So, you know, it kind of maybe anticipating a hyper carry play over on the side of Gamma Squad. So I'm gonna maybe take that out. Also, Malfurion's heals. The one weak point in his healing is the incredibly slow time that those heals come in. He does a lot of heals, but it's a 15-second hot on each person, and so the shields can really be a big factor in being able to enable Malfurion's heals to get rolling enough to really feel the effect of them. So it's a good combo. It's going to be denied here by Sky5. They'll have to see what direction they want to take this draft. Malfurion ETC not giving up a whole lot, so we're probably going to see a good solid amount of the meat and potatoes of Gamma Squad's comp here. Would expect to see a backline damage dealer being picked up here. If they went for a burst damage dealer, they might be able to get their pick of the litter, as Sky5 hasn't really picked up a burst damage dealer yet, so they might be looking to prioritize that. Sylvanas still on the table, usually falling later and later in the draft, where she used to be a lot stronger in the format, but always good on objectives that push with the, you know, map pushing objectives. There we go. Like the Punisher. Being able to shut down those towers can really aid in the push. We're going to see Unalesca's Thrall, and it is going to be the Murky Cheese coming out here. So the gentleman's agreement to not pick the Broken Murloc has been ended right here in Game 1. That didn't take long. So we're going to see Gamma Squad breaking out the Murky. And classic Thrall pickup. Starting to see a little bit of a resurgence from the Thrall Sunder in this format. And Tyrael coming out here. So with Tyrael, it could possibly be a Bloodlust comp. It's really hard to say. The Li Ming makes it far less likely over on the side of Sky5, but we've seen some pretty strong combos between Bloodlust and Sanctification. So we'll have to see if that's the direction Sky5 wants to go in. I wouldn't think so, but it can really enable Vala quite a lot. It's not too bad for Zarya and Tyrael, but again, it doesn't give a whole lot to Li Ming unless they're going for some kind of odd cannoneer kind of thing. But Gul'dan is going to be the pickup for Gamma Squad, so solid pickup for the backline damage. Tons of wave clear, which is so important on this map. And I gotta say, I really like Gamma Squad's draft here. Murky has been coming up in the meta quite a lot. Can be a really, really big terror for those map objectives, being able to place the egg somewhere close to the map objective and constantly just being able to throw his body in to clear those over and over again. So it's a really decent map for Murky. And the one thing I think Sky5 might have a little bit of trouble with, Li Ming does have a little bit of trouble with wave clearing on the shrines. You know, any of those skeletal minions get in the way. It can be very hard for her to get her abilities through to the heroes. One thing they do have going for them with that Li Ming pick, though, is the Murky on the other side. If they are able to kill the Murky, which is harder than it used to be, they get the instant reset from that, and they can continue to cheese that mechanic of Murky dying all the time to be able to get those Li Ming resets. So we'll have to see how big a factor that is here in this match. And we are loading in to Game 1 in this Pro Division match of Sky5 versus Gamma Squad. First on the left, we have Agrippa playing the Tyrael, back problems, playing Rhaegar. I think he might be trying to carry the team here. Sumo gonna be playing Li Ming. Quan Finnegan gonna be playing the Vala, and Apple Mike gonna be on the Zarya. That is Sky5 on the left. On the right, your red team, we're going to see Captain Apples rocking the Murky this game, and Tipithan and Tiffin is going to be playing the Gul'dan. Or King Knight is going to be playing the Malfurion. Peng is going to be on ETC, and Unileska will be rounding out the team on Thrall. This is Gamma Squad. Alright, so immediately sending Murky to the top. He's going to go ahead and drop his egg a little bit behind the line there, making sure that it's nice and difficult to have to reach. He's going to instantly start soaking in that top lane. They're going to send Li Ming against him, which I love. They're going to be trying to cheese those resets, a little extra wave clear that they can get from that. Meanwhile, the 4v4 going pretty well for Gam Squad, but they over-pursue a little bit, trying to get the Tyrael. The Aldruins will go around the backside to get him out of that situation, and we will see Gamma Squad taking their 4-man rotation down to the bottom lane immediately. And they're going to win in the wave clear department. That is the one thing the Gamma Squad really has going for them in this 4-man. First of all, Sky5 is going to have to be really careful on the rotation between the Thrall and Malfurion roots and the ETC slide. If they catch anybody out, they might just be dead. I mean, it's that simple. Unileska actually catching him with the wolf root there, and Murky going to go ahead and go down in that top lane. Not a big deal. He'll be back right about now. Lose a little bit of wave clear, though, from the front towers, taking down some of those minions while Murky was still out of commission. But yeah, not a huge deal. You're okay giving up that Murky kill every now and then. It's going to happen. We do see the rotations continuing here. About a half-level lead, actually, at this point for Sky5. So they're going to have the advantage to start off this shrine. They're going to have that level 4 advantage coming in soon. Vala trying to soak that while members of Gamma Squad staying back, and they're going to lose a little bit on these early minions while they try and soak that 4. Murky actually staying in the top to do that, but already 12-7 on the board. Sky5 having a little bit of an advantage here and going to continue that. But we just see Sky5 we just see Gamma Squad trying to get back into poke, but as Vala comes down, they're going to have to rotate out of there and be a little bit careful here. All 5 members are here. Murky has not quite rotated yet, but they are going in deep after Quan Finnegan, and he's going to go down. That's going to be first True Blood over to the side of Gamma Squad, but too little too late. Apple Mike will be able to finish this down here, and the first Punisher of the game, Arcane Punisher, going to be marching on down in the bottom lane, aided by 2 here. Apple Mike and Sumo are going to be trying to push the wall as they do successfully bait it over to the side of Gamma Squad. Going to start clearing this out, but taking a ton of heat from these Arcane Punisher beams. Easy to forget that those beams are constantly going to be railing your team as they pop out. It's nothing that King Knight can't handle with those slow but steady Malfurion heals. He'll bring everybody back up. They get the front wall, though, due to the side of Sky5. So, pretty decent Punisher for them. Again, gaining about a half-level lead so far in this match. Going to be an advantage as they do get to these talent tiers, but a huge rotation coming in here from Sky5. The slide is going to catch out 2, and the roots come down, and that is going to be 2 pretty easy kills over onto the side of Gamma Squad, as yet again, just the aggression coming in. First the kill on Vala, and now they'll get Vala and Zarya in the second rotation. And Gamma Squad came out to play tonight, clearly. They're not backing down and giving anything for free, as that camp is going to be stolen as well with that rotation. Back problems, trying to figure out if he can get in to do anything about this, but lone support against this CC chain when you can't see where all of them are. You don't want to step too far out from those towers because you never know what CC chain might be coming after you next. Grippa doing what he can in the top lane here against Antiphon. Actually getting a decent amount of damage out on him. A little bit of the body block going, but the drain life going to be able to keep him somewhat healthy. He's going to be able to get back here. We also see the mule coming out from King Knight to help that top lane. ETC actually falling here. The resets are on, and they'll get the reset out, and that's going to enable them to go after Unileska. We'll be able to get out just in the nick of time, but that's going to be 1 and I believe a quarter kills. Oh, Murky. That's so strange. 1 1/4 kills going over to the side of Sky5. And good timing on that, too. They are able to get that just long enough to maintain their XP lead. Race to 10 is being won, but I don't think that's going to be a factor for this shrine unless both teams really drag it out. But a very nice pick. Aggressive rotation here to counter it from Unileska, trying to cut them off here, but is going to end up taking a lot of heat from that. And without Gul'dan, they don't really have the staying power in the damage department to be able to really contest this. Level 10s still quite a ways out here for Sky5. Not going to really be a factor here, but with all 5 members, they should have no problem dominating this area until Gul'dan comes back. But still, the side of Gamma Squad getting very aggressive, coming in here trying to get what they can off of this shrine, realizing that they were down Gul'dan. We'll go ahead and step back and take a little bit of a breather here, but the damage is done, 21-7 for Sky5, and they're going to have to really go in on this shrine soon, and they know it. All 5 members will go ahead and go up into this shrine area, and a ton of damage coming out yet again on Bala. The focus is there. Will go down to the Unileska hammer, but Gul'dan going to go down in return, and it looks like that's going to proc a bit of a retreat here. But look at the aggression coming out from Sky5. They realize they have the advantage. Level 10s have also been picked up here. They pick up the Punisher, a second kill onto Unileska, and all of a sudden, Sky5 in a dominant formation here have caught up on the kill count, and they've got those level 10s with a full level lead. Still an entire level until we'll see Gamma Squad being able to pick up those ultimates. They have got the front wall down, still half health on the Punisher. The Murky Egg is going to go down, so Captain Apples is going to have to get out of here. The pull-in completely whiffing here from Apple Mike. Not going to catch anybody, but does do a decent job of zoning them out. 2 members have to rotate down the bottom rather than going through that gravitation bomb there. Gravitation surge, I should say. It cuts them off from home. They have to go down the bottom, and they get cut off in that rotation as well. Gonna lose their camp at the same time. Sky5 actually considering pushing the wall here with the wave and the camp. They could commit more bodies to this to actually make this front wall go down. But level 10s are here. The death timers are low, so they're going to go ahead and play the safe game. Back up, start soaking, and start winning that race to 13. Again, they're almost a full 2 levels ahead. No reason to really risk anything at this point. Apple Mike going to go ahead and top off his energy there in the mid. Taking a little bit of those, taking a few of those cannon shots. The classic Zarya cheese to be able to get that energy nice and high and keep the damage up. Agrippa going to go ahead and position here aggressively. Maybe looking for a sloppy rotation by a member of Gamma Squad here. Trying to see if anybody's going to creep in towards this camp. Looks like they are going to go in to try and poke at him a little bit here. But close enough to the towers are the side of Gamma Squad. No big deal there. They are going to go ahead and rotate down. At least to clear the wave, if not to try and grab this camp in the bottom. Murky actually kind of going around the backside, looking around, and is going to bribe and steal the camp from Sky5. Very cheeky. And he's probably gonna end up paying for his life with that. Well, maybe not. It looks like they're gonna let him go. Well, don't worry about the little Murloc. Like Sky5's composure there. Not gonna get tilted by the annoying Murky going out there and doing the cheese. Camp will be picked up by the side of Gamma Squad in the mid as well. Have a little something to push here in this mid lane, which is where the Punisher is spawning here. We'll see a oh, but the gravitation bomb gonna miss. They were going after Gul'dan, but not gonna be enough. We're actually gonna see the Horrify coming out to try and zone, but the rain is gonna come down. Stage dive not in time to really make an effect here. A huge sanctification gonna fall just in time to prevent anything from happening from either that stage dive or the Twilight Dream. And complete domination in the team fight after that. Sky5 taking full advantage of that sanctification to get a 1 for 3 exchange here. They are going to have to back up, though. A couple members getting kind of low here. King Knights, of course, still at full health. Didn't go too far into that fight other than to get the Twilight Dream out. Would have been huge if not for that perfectly timed sanctification. Got to give Agrippa a ton of credit on that one. Captain Apples versus Apple Mike. Yeah, we'll have to see who proves themselves to be the better fruit. Right now, with the 1.5 level lead here, Sky5 definitely proving themselves to have the better fruited players. But big win for them. This front wall was not there on the other side. Would have been a little bit. Oh, but Unileska gets jumped in on. Is able to make it out from those frost bombs actually. Very quick rotation and response there from Unileska getting herself out of that trouble. But we do see the jump in from the Punisher getting involved here. A huge Rain of Vengeance. But again, the gravitation surge a little bit late to really be able to capitalize on it. But it could have been a huge play there from Apple Mike. I would have to say a big missed opportunity there to get some big kills. They're going to have to back up now as level 13 is here. All members of Gamma Squad ready to come out and fight. But you got to give Sky5 a lot of credit for being able to disengage from that situation. But here comes the huge rotation from Gamma Squad yet again. Not being willing to give them anything for free. The slide comes in. Sanctification comes down, however. They're going to turn and blow up ETC. Unileska getting very low. Going to have to walk out of this situation. The camp is successfully defended, but the Murlocs are in here for real. However, Sumo getting all the resets in the world. And Unileska is going to be caught out by the Holy Ground, completely body blocked and taken down. A complete team wipe, minus the Murky, who respawned already. But still, 5 kills for the side of Sky5. Huge response. Fool me once, shame on you. Rotate on us and kill us on that camp twice, shame on us. So they go ahead and defend themselves there. More members there to defend again. And yet again, got to give a lot of credit to Agrippa for that huge sanctification right in on the point. And they are going to ride this one through the bottom fort, take even more advantage. Final fort for the side of Gamma Squad. And on this map, I always like to talk about how many lives do you have left in the pool. You know, how many times can you lose a team fight, put your back up against the wall, and still be able to come out of it without losing here on Infernal Shrines. Sometimes that's how you have to play it. Right now, the side of Gamma Squad losing a lot of their lives in the early part of this match. They even get the front wall here to the side of Sky5. Very nice play, especially seeing that this shrine is in the bottom lane. They're going to go ahead and steal the camp, or at least look to steal the camp. They will back off of it as they see the rotations coming. Clear up mid and start to work towards that 20 already, but they are up to 16 talent here. The Gamma Squad got some tough decisions coming in for them here. Let's see if they want to try to contest here. It does not look like it. But this bottom Punisher is going to be pushing directly onto a keep. Probably not going to be able to defend the keep here, particularly if they aren't able to get 16 beforehand. Which it's going to be close. It kind of depends on how quickly they do clear this. And they're doing it pretty quickly, committing all 5 to it. Even willing to give up this top fort to be able to get the job done as quickly as possible. Also going to go ahead and pull a couple off, grab that camp though. So yeah, with the fort, that'll be level 16. So Gamma Squad will have the opportunity to defend here in the bottom lane. We'll have to see.
Blue team has summoned a mortar Punisher.
Immediately rotating to that keep. They are not even bothering making sure that that these are coming in with the shield. They do have the ability to soak up a little bit of that, but Pang positioning very aggressively. They are looking to defend here. Unileska going to get jumped on by the Punisher. The gravitation surge quick enough to get her stopped in motion there, but we'll eventually be able to get out the stage dive. Very aggressive coming in from Pang. We do also see the Twilight Dream. It is going to get Vala here, along with Tyrael. Sanctification not coming down in time. The explosion not enough to take care of Gul'dan. Sumo getting very low. And all of a sudden, we see Gamma Squad coming out, ready to put up their dukes, and they take a 4-for-0 exchange. The Punisher still back here beating on the keep, but they're going to be able to turn around and clear here and save their keep. A huge play coming out from Gamma Squad. Exactly what they needed. And they are actually going to rotate up to try and aid the push of this top camp. They had captured this earlier. They have the opportunity to also steal here, but they are just going to go directly in for the keep, realizing that 4 members still down. The death timers are rolling They are a little bit low here. Probably not enough to end, but certainly enough to get the first keep of the game. Gamma Squad taking full advantage of that team fight win. Very quick, solid rotation by them, and just commendable play here. They've been down this entire game, and big turnaround to be able to clear that top lane. Now they have a method of winning. They have an opening to be able to win this match. And even just one big team fight win, they can just rotate through that top and go ahead and win. But you can't say the same thing for Sky5 right now. Particularly since that next Punisher could very well be in the top lane. The last one spawning in the bottom. One before that actually spawning in the mid. So the top, good odds here. It's 50-50. It still could go to the mid, but we'll see. Rotation coming in on Captain Apple. So going to go ahead and bubble his way on out of there. But most of the teams just staying together at this point. This is the part in the match when you just cannot get caught out alone. So they're going to start rotating together, making sure that they're not going to get caught out. Very safe rotation. Both teams playing for 20 at this point. The experience dead even, where Sky5 has had a full lead most of this match, as much as 2 levels. Gamma Squad coming back big time with that fight in the bottom lane, defending their keep, getting that 4-man wipe, able to then go out and get some solid soak along with getting that top keep. They are caught right up at this point. It's going to be very important how these teams play around 20. Slight level lead for Sky5. I'm going to be able to rotate and pick up some nice XP here in the mid. And it is actually going to be a mid spawn, so that is pretty bad luck, actually, for Gamma Squad. That is not the RNG that they were looking for. Especially with this top lane constantly pushing. Something that they're going to have to answer to on a consistent basis is the side of Sky5. But Rookie going to go ahead and step back and bribe this, so put a little bit more pressure on that top as if there wasn't enough from the cannon spawning. But level 20 is here for both teams. So, nothing too out of the ordinary. We do see the both of the Storm to try and aid in that Twilight Dream positioning. We do see Pang with a big rotation here towards the back. Hasn't picked that level 20 talent yet. Kind of holding it here is Pang. We don't know. It might be Death Metal. Could be Bolt. Could be a third Bolt here. Could you imagine? Stage Dive still up, and 25 to 21. As Sky5's been pushed out of this a little bit. A lot less to lose here. But we do see Agrippa going in, getting Unileska tied out with that Holy Ground. That's going to be enough to take her down. The counter kill coming out onto Rhaegar. The Murlocs are rolling here, ripping apart the side of Sky5. The Twilight Dream comes out. The Sanctification in response. ETC will be the third to fall in this team fight. It is a 2-for-1 exchange. But Gamma Squad is able to pick up the Punisher in the process here. Huge March of the Murlocs coming out from Captain Apples, being able to help them catch up in the wave clear department. And they get a big victory here. They do end up losing their 2 frontliners, but they exchange it for Rhaegar, so they're going to be safe to push a little bit with this mid Punisher. They're going to at least get the fort, but an 89% health on that Punisher still. Going to be able to walk its way towards this fort, and I think they might have just actually missed. Oh no, there's the bait over. They do barely get it up over the wall, but the wall is already gone at this point. Captain Apple's going in deep here to try and get some extra damage onto this front wall. They've got the front wall down. That's a nice job by Sky5. They position carefully, not too far to be able to be caught out here, but they do get the Punisher down. Could have been a rough position for them. They didn't play that right, but they play it correctly. These guys are pros. They know what they're doing. I'm going to go ahead and rotate on up to pick up this camp. You see the bottom camp being picked up by the side of Gamma Squad. So both teams going to take a quick breather. Maybe give me a little bit of a breather. That's always nice of these teams to have a little lull in the action for me to calm down. Again, very, very even level here. This is ever since that fight in the bottom, this has been a pretty even match. Still that top lane advantage though for the side of Sky5. That's going to be constantly pushing. Right now, we've got a camp pushing in the top lane, but little known fact, eventually, Catapults do win that out. But both teams kind of stalking around between this mid and bottom lane, trying to find anybody out. Not really finding any pay dirt. They're going to go ahead and trade out those camps on either side and have them pushing towards the mid. Rotation actually going straight to the mid, though, for the side of Gamma Squad. Also going to send up ETC to go ahead and clear the top. Catapult's actually not being nearly as effective as I thought. They're actually going to rotate up Pang to help that out. Oh, this aggressive rotation by Sky5. Maybe feigning it a little bit, actually. They're gonna back up. They started to push in towards that bottom keep. Maybe just trying to see if Gamma Squad would rotate to it in time. We do see a camp pushing in mid. That front wall already gone. Something that Sky5 is going to have to cover here. They find the Murky Egg hiding up in this top lane, does Sky5. Captain Apple's going to have to be careful for a little while he figures out where to put that egg next. Li-Ming going to clear out a majority of that camp. Going to leave one kind of sitting there in the mid. Both teams going to go ahead and square up here. Catapult's going to be cleared in the top lane. Favorable spawn for Gamma Squad. This is probably the one that they wanted last time. They're going to get it here. Captain Apple's positioning nice and far out, trying to get a little bit of that harass coming his way. The Aldruins waiting to produce that holy ground there. Split up the team. But both teams kind of just poking at each other. Neither one willing to full commit at this point. Neither team really wanting to make any kind of mistake here. So we do see the shrines started by Gamma Squad. They're going to go ahead and pick up a little bit of an advantage here, and Sky5 realizes they gotta go. Agrippa going in pretty deep into the team here, getting ready. They're actually harassing ETC to start this out. The Holy Ground comes out. Big Ancestral on Davala. Gonna be able to keep her nice and healthy. Her health is slowly falling, though. Goes down to Murky. We also see Li-Ming falling along with the Murky, but right now that's a 3 for Murky exchange, which they will take any day of the week. Gamma Squad coming out in a big way. The stage dive going to position himself to be able to cut off Rhaegar, and Apple Mike on the run. He's not going to be able to get out of here either. There's too much CC over on the side of Gamma Squad. They're not even going to bother picking up the Punisher at this point. Apple Mike, it's only a matter of time before he falls, and that is going to be the march of victory. Everybody on the log, Death Timers, and Gamma Squad taking advantage in that top area. They're going to get the easy win here. Even going to throw down the mule. Why not? That is GG. Gamma Squad winning game 1 here on Infernal Shrines. Even a little bit of BM from Unileska. You know, hey, why not? She's got all the time in the world to finish off this core. Sky5 had a really big resurgence in the middle of that game, made it very interesting. Or I should say Gamma Squad did. Sky5 leading through most of that. But you got to be able to take the advantages when they come. That's really the big deal for them. They won that team fight in the bottom lane. Even when they were down the talent tier, they still just came out and they just knew they had to go. They worked well as a team and got that big team fight win. And then they pushed the advantage. You know, they had that camp pushing in top. Quick rotation up to it by a couple members of Gamma Squad. And they earned that big win in the top to be able to get that keep. And they just needed one more big team fight win to really be able to finish it off. And that's exactly what they did. They didn't even need that Punisher in the top lane. That's going to be 1-0 for Gamma Squad in this best of 3 series. We got another match coming up for you. Another map coming up, I should say. First Hollow is going to be the pick here. Agrippa calling it out for us. Tell us exactly where we're going. Gonna get this lobby made up for you guys real quick. Excited to see these teams. They seem very evenly matched. The first game was really solid. Sky5, it's got to be careful to not let the tilt factor wag its way on in. It can be kind of frustrating being ahead early in a match like that, and then having the other team start to come back and slowly build. And not a whole lot of Murky cheese either. You know, I really liked what Gamma Squad did. Murky was definitely the solo laner, but it's not like they left Murky out on an island alone, pushing a lane constantly while the objectives were up. Murky always rotated up, always got in on those shrine fights, and was a big part of why they won a lot of those team fights as well. Getting a lot of damage out, taking a lot of the harass, being willing to sacrifice himself, but you know, take the trades. It was a solid play. All the apples. And we'll go ahead and get Gamma Squad on in here, and then we'll be ready to go. First Hollow, the next map coming up. One of the biggest maps in Heroes of the Storm, also one of the most well-known. It's always the beginner map, right? You know, most people don't remember back to their first few games in Heroes of the Storm, but First Hollow was the only map that players can play on, or is the only map that players can be randomly queued into for their first few levels of play. A mechanism to try to not confuse new players by throwing a bunch of different map objectives at them. So, Cursed Hollow. Rich history in Heroes of the Storm. Get both of these teams readied up, and we will go on into draft number 2. Well, it looks like they need a minute, so we'll just talk some more about Cursed Hollow. Really important on this map to get interrupt potential. That's always one of the biggest things, is being able to poke out the tributes and interrupt the tribute casts. Some of the strongest heroes on this map tend to be Zarya, Li Ming, Malfurion. The heroes that are both good in the meta and have tremendous poke potential. You also just got to have teamfight potential. It's one of those maps that is going to constantly require you to rotate down to these map objectives to try and pick up these tributes, and constantly forces you to team fight. So, but you don't always have to go hard and engage here. You can build a very poke-oriented comp that's just designed around poking your opponent down and not allowing them to hard engage you. But easier said than done sometimes in this meta. All right. We're going to get this going for these two teams. Game number 2. Sky5 down 1-0 in the series. Going to be looking to bring it back on Cursed Hollow and put us into game number 3. Gamma Squad looking to close it out. But this is going to be the map pick of Sky5. So Gamma Squad going to be able to pick first here. See who they want to prioritize. Dahaka, often a tank that we see picked and banned quite a lot on this map. The big, giant globals on this map, on this big map, very, very important. Wouldn't be surprised to see Murky here again. It's another really good split push map. It's a really good. It's just a really big map. It's kind of annoying to have to constantly rotate to answer to Murky Push. But we obviously saw Gamma Squad not really going that route with their Murky play last time. Let's see if they want to try that out again here. It was a pretty late draft pick. I don't think that's... I don't know if it's going to be a big priority for them, but holding it till the very last second, yet again. But it's going to be the Ragnaros ban coming out from Gamma Squad. Not too surprising. Ragnaros, incredibly strong in the meta right now. Another hero with great poke and deny potential. Not to mention a just an ult that wrecks people. Sulfurous Smash, just one of the biggest ults in the metagame. One of the only ults that's just allows you to just build an entire team around it. Just the damage that comes out in those AoE smashes, just completely ridiculous. Look like Sky5's thinking about ETC here. A solid ban on this map. ETC does have the ability to get in there and really disrupt a lot of that tribute. A lot of that tribute area, getting a lot of CC out, but then also being able to save the slide, be able to get out in those poke areas, and get poked down to low health and slide on out to safety. Same thing with Muradin. You know, Muradin and Dwarf Toss being able to be right up in your opponent's face for a while, but then having an easy escape out of those situations, always very important to consider. How is your tank going to get out? Not every tank has the ability to do that. We see a lot of Varian lately, and that's historically something he's terrible at.
Alone, grant us strength.
So we do see Malfurion, the first pickup here for the side of Gamma Squad, liking what they saw in the last match with him. We're going to see Malfurion back once again. Again, a very, very good poke potential, and also good sustain. You want to be able to stay in on these shrine fights for a while, or these tribute fights for a while, if you have to. So, doing that, Malfurion does have the ability to keep a team healthy over the long haul. Those heal over time effects, constantly being able to roll on 3 or 4 members at a time, can really keep your team healthy and keep them in the fight for a while, to be able to poke out for forever in these shrines. 2 picks coming up here for Sky5. Probably wanting to pick up their healer here to avoid the healer chokehold. Not a lot of great healers in the game, but they're just going to prioritize the globals instead. Not a big shock. This is a very good map for globals. Being able to rotate, being able to stay in lane a little while longer, get a little bit of extra soak and experience, and then being able to quickly rotate into those map objectives can be a really big deal. And it's a huge map. So being able to prioritize a couple members to quickly grab a camp, then quickly be able to rotate, or even, you know, being able to quickly back and then come back in with full health if you're getting a little bit low on these map objectives can really be a really big deal. So a lot of advantages gained by globals on this map, and with ETC taken out, Dahaka and Falstad picked up, you're starting to lose the ability to pick up any globals here. Zagara does have a global with Nidus Network if you want to take that ult, but Zagara's kind of fallen out of the meta. Brightwing does have an obviously does have phase shift, but Malfurion already over on the side of Gamma Squad, so they're just gonna throw those globals out of the wind, out into the cold here. They're gonna pick up yet again Thrall. Do what you know. Greymane gonna be the pickup here as well. So this is a pretty interesting map for Greymane. He does have really good poke ability, particularly with that new ult that he's got. Ghostly Bullet, Phantom Bullet. It's something. It's something along those lines. I forget the name of it, but sneaky burst damage potential that we haven't seen out of Greymane in a while. And then of course Thrall with those chain lightnings has great poke and denial potential. So Tassadar going to be the ban out here for the side of Sky5. Not a big shock. Yet again, being able to really enable those frontliners to be able to jump in. Also, Tassadar does have good poke. He's got good denial with that Psystorm. And Archon. I mean, Archon's been a really big deal in the meta for a little while here. Used to be all Force Wall, but we're seeing a lot of Archon come out. It's a lot of extra damage. And I really like the ban coming out from Gamma Squad, recognizing that this is a completely global team so far, wanting to go ahead and shut that down and apply the healer chokehold at the same time. They go ahead and ban out Brightwing. The 2 picks coming out yet again here for Sky5. They got got some interesting options. They could try to... First bullet, there it is. Yeah. Hero's got my back. But I knew it was something ghastly. Unaleska, always on the thrall. You know, it is what it is. Why not? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's Li Ming could be an interesting pickup here for Sky5. They're probably wanting to pick up a little bit of backline damage. Somebody with decent long-ranged poke. But, you know, they're just going to ignore me and just go right on with the Artanis and Lucio, just like I said. Needing to pick up that healer. Lucio does have decent sustained healing, especially the AoE nature of his slow but steady AoE heals. Kind of fills the same role as Brightwing in that department. Got to be up in and around your team to be able to get those heals out. Constant, slow heals. Not quite as... I do like Lucio in the AoE heal department for the constant flow rather than the occasional ticks. But that sound barrier can be a real lifesaver, especially if you got a Greymane and a Thrall bearing down on you. Artanis also picked up here for Sky5, so they're going to be looking for some aggressive swaps, be able to get to the squishy, ooey gooey center of Gamma Squad. Got to be careful though with that Artanis pickup. Every once in a while that could be a real problem, but Zagara actually going to be the pickup for Gamma Squad. Got to probably look towards that global Nidus network to be able to get some split push coming out. Diablo also the pickup here. So they're going to be looking to take advantage of a lot of the tight corridors and curved edges of Cursed Hollow to be able to get some extra stun power out. Yeah, no variant. I see what you're talking about, Emmy. I mean, it seems like such a variant-driven meta, but am I correct in saying that he got a nerf recently? I think it was really recently. I remember somebody saying something. No cleanse with both Thrall and Matt. Well, they do have one more pick. I mean, Maddie, it could still happen, but you're right. Lucio does not have... Well, okay, so he doesn't have a cleanse in the traditional sense, but he does have a cleanse in the sense of, let's get the hell out of here. But Lily going to be the pickup to close out this draft. Very interesting. Could possibly be a Water Dragon damage Lily here to go with the heals nature of Lucio. We'll have to see what Sky5 is going for here. Definitely looking to outsustain. Definitely looking towards the blinds to go against Greymane and Thrall and Diablo, which can be really strong. And they just want to be able to poke out and win the objectives at this point. I kind of like it. If you can't beat them straight up head on, and you want to just be able to back out a little bit, get a little extra poke out, should be interesting to see. Nerded. Yeah. Nerfed.
Prepare yourself for
all right.
Heroes.
Match number 2, or game number 2 of this best of 3 match. Do have Gamma Squad up 1-0, but on the left, Sky5 looking to bring this to a 3-game series, trying to pick up the win on their map choice, Cursed Hollow. Apple Mike going to be playing the False Dad. Sumo is going to be playing Lily. Back Problems is going to be on the Lucio. Agrippa going to be trying to grip people out of place with those swaps on Artanis. And Quan Finnegan is going to be playing Dahaka. On the right, Gamma Squad coming out directly to the mid. Captain Apple is going to be playing Greymane. Pang on Diablo. King Knight on Malfurion. Unaleska back again on the Thrall. And Antiphon is going to be playing the Zagara. So right away, both teams poking each other out here a little bit in the mid. Nothing too crazy. Instant flight by Apple Mike to the bottom lane. Gonna get that soak on real early, but Unaleska will come out right in time to be able to get the soak in the bottom lane. No real advantage gain. Actually, gets the hit onto the Falstad with that wolf. I don't see a lot of Thrall nowadays. I keep forgetting the abilities all of a sudden. Dahaka actually going back to get a little health there in the top lane. Setting up a little bit of a gank here. And, oh, the swap just barely missing. Agrippa not quite able to get Antifon there. Nice sidestep to be able to dodge that in the mid. 3-man pushes on here. Pang actually gets the stun out onto Sumo. A little bit of a stutter step to try and dodge some of the Captain Apple's damage. Sumo will be able to walk away from that. Lili, notorious for being a difficult hero to actually gank and be able to pin down. A little bit of that a testament to the blinds and the passive that she has to move a little bit quicker when she's under assault. The aggressive flight. Like Apple Mike's looking for a little bit of cheese here on the Unaleska. Back problem's gonna hit and try to move her back a little bit, but not quite enough damage there really. Apple Mike got some damage potential with that hammer. Not gonna be enough to take out Thrall unless it's got plenty of sustain on that hero. But both teams trying to rotate around here, trying to get a little bit extra damage out here and there. Instant rotation by the side of Gamma Squad to be able to pick this up, but not a favorable spawn for them. It's going to be in the bottom lane, so we are going to see Sky5 having the opportunity to be able to get that out. Unaleska actually hitting the root onto Apple Mike once again, but this time the follow-up to get a lot of extra damage out. Both teams level 4 and rotating down 4 members to this tribute, but they're all both teams leaving one in the top lane. Zagara, Artanis will be squaring off in the solo lanes up top. Meanwhile, this camp constantly going to be pushing and pressuring this bottom lane a little bit. Sky5 going to probably be looking to clear this along with trying to poke out this tribute. So both teams just kind of posturing at this point. Nobody really going after anyone. A little bit of poke damage here and there. Quan Finnegan just gonna feign those, realizing that Unaleska's got more than enough poke to be able to interrupt this, but just kind of forcing her to stay in. The tongue goes out. Back problem's also getting in there with the knockback, but we'll be able to rotate out here as Unaleska. King Knight gonna give her the heal, be able to keep her alive for the moment. Full-on commitment though from Sky5 going after King Knight. Now turning the sights onto Unaleska. They can't find a focus target. Pang gonna come in to actually get a little bit of the peels out as level 7 starting to inch closer and closer for the side of Gamma Squad. Camp has been cleared in the bottom. A little bit of damage done to the front wall, but nothing too serious. And both teams continue to posture once again over this tribute. You just see one poke thrown in at a time by the side of Gamma Squad. They realize in the top lane Zagara is going to win that 1v1 eventually over Artanis and get some extra damage out, but they do start to slowly rotate out. King Knight going to be able to interrupt that, but has got to be careful here. Quan Finnegan almost gets the cast out. King Knight gets one more Moonfire out to be able to interrupt that. Captain Apple is going to be able to go in and interrupt that, but will get a tongue for his trouble. Pang is also in very deep here, actually charges even further into the fray. Is going to be poked down by back problems. Unaleska with the response, though, to be able to push him back. And the fight continues here. Level 7 advantage picked up, however. Sky5 able to pick that up between pokes there. Just barely being able to pick that up. And the long fight is over. And Antifon going to have to hurry on out of here. Pang able to get the charge to be able to zone for the moment, but Agrippa going to be able to get in and get that knockdown. Also getting the swap to be able to back out. Pang thinking better of going in there deep. Entire front wall and the well gone in the top, however. So Gamma Squad winning the exchange in top, but losing the tribute here. Yeah, we just see the amateur opponent coming out on their Artanis. That's an interesting point. I think seasoned marksman.
I grow tired of
It kind of depends on what you're going to use your team for. You know, if you're constantly going to have your Artanis being the one that rotates out to get camps, then I think amateur opponent is definitely more important. But if you're never going to have Artanis touching a single camp other than maybe the boss, seasoned marksman will help with that too. The damage applies to all rather than just applying to PvE. But again, it kind of depends on what your comp is and what you're planning on using your team for. Yet again, Gamma Squad picking up that that camp in the bottom lane, but not really able to poke this out. They didn't rotate hardly anyone to it. King Knight comes in to get one poke, but that's not going to be able to do much more than that with the rotations coming. They are winning the race to 10, but I think Sky5 does have enough time to be able to pick up level 10 themselves, particularly if they can get any pressure on any lane to get even just a little bit of siege damage out and get one of these cannons. Apple Mike going to go ahead and focus on trying to poke out Diablo in that top lane. They do have both tribs so far, so this next trib is going to be Curse Point for the side of Sky5. Both teams are going to have their level 10s picked up just slightly faster here by Gamma Squad. Probably not going to be early enough to really be able to take any kind of big advantage out of it. Unileska in that top lane, pushing Apple Mike on out of the lane. Level 10's picked up here. Isolation coming out from Dahaka. Well, that's going to be interesting. Still waiting to see that level 10 from Lily, however. Unileska yet again going after Apple Mike. They're going to have to start rotating down. Got to be careful, though. There's a lot of tank potential. She's going to have to go around the long way. Meanwhile, Tribute has spawned down here. Still waiting to see Unileska's ult. There it is, Earthquake coming out. Let's see the rotation down and going in deep to try and get it, but getting very, very low. Sound Barrier comes out. It's going to keep the side of Sky5 very healthy here. Is Sumo with that Sound Barrier. Juan Finnegan going to hit the tongue out on Diablo. Peng is going to be the first to fall here. That's going to be a full death timer. We do see the two-man Maw coming out from Antiphon. No follow-up to it, really, though. Not going to be able to get any... Well, Falstad actually goes down from that huge cocktail from Captain Apples. We also see the bullet coming out. And hit Dahaka right in the face. That hurts. Antiphon trying to poke in from the bottom. Gonna have to walk out of that situation with back problems and Juan Finnegan on the chase. And the poke out continues here. It is indeed Water Dragon coming out from Lily as well. So some interesting ult picks, and we are actually going to see Sky5 going ahead and stepping back here, realizing that there's a big push going on in the mid that they've got to clean up. This is not Curse Point for Gamma Squad. No reason to risk it in such a favorable position. 100% guaranteed spawn right here in the favorable position for the side of Sky5 next. So should be an easier point for them to defend. The curse, that cursed bullet coming out yet again. Only a 30-second cooldown. Pretty interesting. Automatic 35% damage. Oh, but Agrippa. Oh, getting caught out a little bit, but we do see the Sound Barrier coming in. Ton of shields coming in from back problems to be able to save him, but that's a long cooldown. Sound Barrier is not going to be back up in time for this next tribute phase. That's ultimately a big win for Gamma Squad, being able to bait out that Sound Barrier. I mean, heck, Artanis probably would have been alive if he had died there. We probably would have been back in time to be able... Oh, well, you know, I was wrong about the tribute spawn. My bad, folks. I could have sworn there was a rule about it spawning in the other position, but I guess I was wrong. Oh, and the double and the Water Dragon coming out onto Greymane. As they are able to rotate into the mid and get that pick out onto him. Going to give a favorable position here to Sky5 in this situation. A 4v5 as both teams start to rotate down. Antiphon doing a nice job of poking out that first one. Even going to risk a rotation in to get the Bangling out to interrupt one more. But you got to be very careful here as the rotation is in and they are starting to push them out through the bottom. Greymane has spawned, but has a long run to be able to get in here. The APOC is going to be good to be able to stall yet again. Unileska coming down to get the Earthquake out. That's going to have Sky5 stuck in this situation as Captain Apples comes back here. Gonna start putting the damage out onto Agrippa. He's gonna have to rotate out of this situation. Apple Mike not gonna be so lucky as he does hit the barrel roll to try and get out, but it's not gonna be enough. And a huge response from Gamma Squad, being able to poke that out in that 4v5 situation, and then being able to rotate in and get the full win as soon as Captain Apples had respawned. Great recovery from that poorly timed pick onto Captain Apples, as they are now even going to go push the bottom lane and be able to pressure this bottom fort.
The red team has destroyed a fort.
Both teams level 13 here. No big advantage going to be coming to this next tribute phase, and it is going to be curse point either way. Captain Apples being caught out yet again. He will go ahead and throw out the bullet onto Agrippa. Nice job by Pang being able to get in there and soak that water dragon, the ultimate form of peel, as he's able to get Captain Apples out of that situation. They start to clear up some of this creep down in this bottom lane. Seeing a very nice job by Antiphon being able to spread around that vision all around Cursed Hollow here, giving him a good idea of where the rotations are coming. Tribute coming in this top lane. The Haka, a little bit out here. Gotta be careful with this rotation. Pang is coming. They're definitely thinking about it, but they are going to go ahead and take the favorable position into this tribute area. You'll eventually see the focus coming down onto Quan Finnegan. He will burrow to be able to stall out some of that damage. Gonna get a little bit of heals. The huge stack up by the side of Gamma Squad. Gonna end up getting Zagara killed as all the AoE damage comes out. Huge Twilight Dream to be able to at least turn a little bit of this into their favor. So many health bars so low here, but it is going to be Lili and Dahaka going out after the Zagara falls. Agrippa trying to do everything he can to keep himself alive. Back problem is going to be able to stall out, and Apple Mike going to get that final hit. It's Unileska turning. It is a 2-for-3 exchange so far, but some pretty low members still on the side of Gamma Squad. Pang's got to be very careful here, but they can continue to poke this out. Malfurion heals, not exactly ideal to be able to get Diablo back up, though. Unileska's going to wait in here for a while and try to poke this out long enough for members to start to come back, but Global from Dahaka going to instantly get Quan Finnegan back, but completely whiffs the tongue onto Unileska. Not even close there. The root coming out, however, from Night Knight is good to be able to at least force the burrow out from Quan Finnegan. And this is going to turn back into a 4v4 with Artanis and Greymane coming back in to make it a 5v5, the never-ending fight to get the curse here. Pang going to be swapped way out into downtown. No way he survives that one. The Water Dragon coming out onto King Knight, going to force him to retreat. Captain Apple's not quite willing to let this one go, however, as he's going in deep. He might be paying for that one with his life, and indeed will go down here. Meanwhile, first picked up here by Sky5. As they successfully push them out here, they're going to go straight up to this top lane. The two-man Maw coming out to try and get Antiphon and Unileska out of this. But back problems rotates in, pushes them back. They get another pushback from that gust from Apple Mike. Unileska's going to fall here. Antiphon trying to rotate out around out the back, but that's not going to work. Antiphon's going to end up going down. Lucio able to get that speed boost. That's going to be 2 more kills as Sky5 continues to just stagger those deaths and get a lot of extra damage out here. Meanwhile, the curse having its effect, pushing in every lane. The mule doing its best to try and heal up that bottom lane, but ultimately that's going to be falling the minions. The rotation coming to the top as the push is on by Sky5 as they continue to go towards this top keep. They're going to get at least the front wall here, but it does look like they're going to go ahead and back out while Falstad continues to push in the mid.
Enough.
Both bosses, in fact, every single camp on the map is up at this point. Apple Mike gonna have to rotate out of this situation here in the mid, but they do get the top. They do get both the top and bottom fort here. Do Sky5 off of that. Worth 3 tributes. Maybe. They do also get the front wall of that top keep, so they have opened up a way to be able to win the game later on if they do get a big team fight win. Not something that we can really say for the side of Gamma Squad at this point. Both teams just going to go ahead and trade out their bosses. Nothing too ridiculous at this point. Going to be cleared a little bit quicker, though, for the side of Sky5. They picked that up, and they are rotating towards it, but not rotating as quickly as they could with Lucio and the speed boost ability, so not really taking full advantage of that. But they do rotate in fast enough to at least get a little bit of poke out onto them. They're going to have to back up, and each team's going to have to clear out these bosses, however. Look at the rotation in here from Quan Finnegan, though. This looks like they're not going to prioritize clearing up that boss at all. They're going to go ahead and trade for that mid fort. Tahaka also pushing in the bottom lane. Maybe getting a little overly aggressive here, but nothing that a gust out can't fix. Quan Finnegan going to be poked out here a little bit by Antifon. Unaleska rotating up to be able to clear that boss. He's gotten the entire front wall of this bottom keep. Gotta give him a lot of credit. The distraction in the mid working out well for Sky5. They're also going to end up picking up this mid fort as they leave. However, the boss slowly but surely beating down that keep in the top, starting with that front wall. One-man Maw, the follow-up is going to be there. The root comes out, but the burrow, with the ability to move with that burrow, Quan Finnegan going to be able to get out for the moment. The sound barrier coming in as a full-on team fight breaks out in the mid. Apple Mike going to go ahead and fly in, but not before Tahaka gets completely blown up. 3-for-0 exchange here. The Gust was not there to be able to zone them out when they really needed it. It's going to be too little too late. We're only going to see Sumo and Apple Mike walking away from this situation. Wow. A huge stack up in the top lane that they're going to have to answer to.
Red team has destroyed the fort.
And yet again, we see, Sumo actually in a ton of trouble here. Not going to go. And the final Moonfire, just enough to be able to get him down. And now all of a sudden, we see the curse grabbed. 4 members down. Gamma Squad going to be going after the win right here. Instantly rotating directly to that top one. Unaleska already taking down this keep. Still 40 seconds out for Lili. Many of the members up at about 10 seconds here for the side of Sky5. They're choosing to not go after the core. I love this call. Very smart. They do have the level 20 advantage, but they are just going to go ahead and take the mid keep as so many members were spawning there. They do have the ability to still try and force this fight, but they do not have Diablo. That's one of the big factors. This is a 4v4 situation, even completely down deep in their own territory here. Level 20 is also now here for Sky5. So not wanting to get too overly aggressive here. Gamma Squad doing a nice job of taking advantage, but not overstaying, not over pushing. Lili now back in. Diablo soon to be also back into this one. But they are still here in this bottom lane. Gotta watch out for those swap potentials coming in from Agrippa. The curse, man, that cursed bullet just hurts. And at the cooldown, it's just so low, it's just gonna hit you right in the face. It sounds like it hurts, you know? Oh, look at the rotation coming in here. Not wanting to completely back out. The stun combo coming down. Tahaka gets completely blown up. And Gamma Squad, a huge rotation. You know, you expect them to kind of back off and take a little bit of breather there, but no way. Gamma Squad not giving them anything for free here. That has been the theme of these matches. Oh, we're down to 16 talents here in Infernal Shrines. Who cares? We're going to push past your Punisher, kill you, and open up the win for later. And here they are. A ton of damage coming out yet again onto Agrippa. Just the focus targets. Sumo also getting kind of low. But you see the continual wind able to zone them for at least a little while. Sumo still in a lot of trouble, though. The two-man mob on the back end. And the APOC is going to spell the death of Agrippa eventually. They do have to be careful fighting in range of that bottom keep, but it's too little too late. Lili and Artanis down, along with the Tahaka. Lane's pushing in the top and the mid. That is going to be GG. Gamma Squad taking this Pro Division Series 2-0 with this final victory here on Cursed Hollow. Yeah, that was a huge rotation to be able to catch Dahaka. Just when you thought they might back out, pick up camps, start to paint the map their color, like many teams are trained to do. Nope, they just turn around, they wait for somebody to make a sloppy rotation, and they just completely blow somebody up. And and Maddie makes a good point. What was the Dahaka thinking? I don't blame Quan Finnegan for that. He is stalking around, trying to figure out if anybody's staying, what most people would consider staying too long. But, when one team's rotating as 5 and the other team's not, that's where you can gain a lot of advantage in this game and get a lot done. Absolutely, Captain Apples. My pleasure always to cast any of these matches. But that's GG. 2-0 victory here for Gamma Squad. Congratulations to them. Big shout out to Sky5 for coming out. Like I said, they played great in a lot of the early games, but at some point, especially in coordinated play like this, teams got to just rotate as 5. That's how it works. Once you get to that level 16 or so, usually you want to start rotating as 5 more often than not, and trying to clear up all the lanes. Dahaka gets caught out there at the end, and that gives Gamma Squad the momentum they need to go in and push in the core for the end. Yeah, thank you very much for coming in, guys. It was a big fun night. Very exciting to have all you guys here with me, watching these matches and enjoying seeing both of these teams playing their hearts out. Got to give a big shout out to everybody. A lot of skill out there in the Nexus tonight with these two Pro Division teams. It's just really exciting to see how many great players we got in Chair League and the excitement that we've been building for it. It's been a lot of fun. That's going to be it for me tonight, guys. Like I said, you guys can be watching out for that Chair League highlight reel. It'll be coming out to you on my YouTube channel later on tonight. We're going to put the finishing touches on it and go ahead and ship it out to y'all. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You guys can look in the Chair League forums if you guys are looking for that, or you guys can just check out my YouTube channel. It'll be there. As always, if you guys are interested in seeing more Chair League action, it's not a bad channel to be following, because I'll cast a lot of matches, but also hosting a lot of the casters that are also casting Chair League matches. And yeah, that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out, and have a good night.